So here we're going to use significant figures to do rounding. So the first thing that we'll need to do is identify what is the first significant digit, and that will always be the first non-zero digit from the left-hand side of the number. So if we begin on the left and search over, we see that the 3 is actually the first non-zero digit, so that's where we'll begin. Now from there, including that number, we need to count over 3 spots because we went around to 3 significant figures. So that's 1, 2, 3 spots, and I'll draw a line. Now use that line to help me decide whether I need to round up or leave it as it is. So in this case, I see a 7 on the right hand side of the line, and I need to then round my 5 up, because 7 is greater than 5. So this number will become 3, 4, 6, 0, 0. And you'll notice I'm adding in zeros to replace the numbers that have been rounded away. And the reason I do that is to keep the number the same size. For instance, unrounded, that is 34,578. So I need to make sure I still have 34,000 as a size of number here, and in this case 34,000 rounding to 600 instead of 578. So these zeros are important, we keep them as placeholders. In the next example, we're going to find again the first significant digit, which in this case is the 1. And we're going to count over 4 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw my line. So again, comparing the right hand side of that line, I see a 4. In this case, it's actually less than 5, so I'm going to leave the number on the left hand side of it alone. I will not round up, leave it exactly as it is. So here I get 12.85. And you might be asking whether or not to put a 0. And I'm going to put it there for a second, but tell you you do not want it. So we do not put a 0 in this case. So before the decimal, we'll keep the zeros as placeholders. But after decimal, we can round them off if we don't want them anymore. So in this case, 12.854 is not really any different from 12.85. Having that 0 there or not doesn't make a difference as to how big that number is. In the next example, I want to use 4 significant figures. So I'm going to find the first non-zero digit, which is my 4, and count over 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw my line. Again, making a comparison here, I see that on the right hand side of the line I have a 5, and with a 5 I need to round up. So I notice the next thing is that I need to round up a 9, and that rounds to 10. So really I need to carry over and round 19 all the way up to 20. So 0.0000, keeping the original part of the number, 47, and that 9 needs to round up to a 0 and carry a 1, or you can think of it as 19 rounding up to 20. And you might wonder why I'm keeping the 0 here, and in this case it was to the left of the line, so I need to keep it because that's still going to represent for me 4 significant figures. I need all of those to get my 4 significant figures. So you could maybe say after decimal, round off zeros if right of the line. On the left-hand side of the line, we want to keep it as a significant placeholder. Looking at the next example, 2 significant figures. Starting with my first non-zero, which is 2, counting over 2, dropping down my line. Again, make that comparison. On the right-hand side, I see a 4, which is less than 5, so I'm not going to round up. So I'll have 25, and I need to use zeros as placeholders here. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 placeholders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 placeholders. And again, my reason for that is 1, those zeros are before the decimal, so they're important to keep the size of the number. I wouldn't run around 254,000. That's going to be 2,584,596. I wouldn't want to round that down to just 25. I need to keep it as, again, still 2,500,000, keeping it as the same size big number relatively. So again, keep those zeros if they're placeholders to keep it as a big number, but if it's a little number after what you've rounded off, you don't need to keep the 0 anymore.